Hello YouTube. This is another mead experiment with a different type of yeast. It is Lalvin's Borjoven RC212. Have it right here. My little tester drams. The initial notes declare this as a pale gold to lemon, very clear. Let me back up a peg here too. The mead recipe is simply 4 pounds of clover honey, 1 gallon of spring water, 1 small orange, and this Borjoven, Bourgovin, RC212 by the Lalvin Company. Went through its standard time that I use for brewing time, and that is approximately 3 months. First month in the first fermenter, 2 months in the second fermenter, and then cleared with bentonite. Nothing else. Now the initial notes here state that on site it is a pale gold. I believe it was more of a lemon, but I see where they're getting the gold out of this. And very clear. Now the thing is, at the bottom of the second fermenter was pretty heavy with old yeast. And I had to hit it twice with potassium sorbate to try to cut back on the amount the yeast was going after that. It wasn't enough to say that it was still fermenting, but it was enough that made you kind of question whether or not you're going to get a bottle bomb out of it. So like I said, I hit it twice because the first time didn't quite seem to do enough. It went from just simply pinprick bubbles to a handful of pinprick bubbles. The smell, the initial impression is that it's a light scent, fruity notes with a hint of taste. I gotta write that down wrong. More like hint of honey. And yeah. Now that's one thing that comes up right here is a yeasty, I'm gonna write this in my notes, is that there's a bit of a yeasty smell to it. I think that's what I was getting confused with the scent of a honey. But it's a very light, very faint smell, predominantly fruity, touch of honey, and the rest of it is a yeasty type smell. Taste. The initial is that it's light, has a yeast taste to it with fruity notes. Actually, I think I have that reversed. The predominant thing that you taste out of this is the fruit notes. But then it ends with a light yeast flavoring. Enough to give it a bit of a bitterness. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit wrong on that. You go from fruity to the yeastness, and then you get a honey at the very tail end of it. It's nice. I would have to say you put an ice cube in this or refrigerate it on a hot summer's day, it'll be really good. But that yeast is a bit of a turnoff for me. I do like the fact that everything's a light taste to it. That's why I think it'll do so well for a hot summer day. But that yeast aftertone, the afternote to it, the feeling will mount up after a while. And even though it's not necessarily bitter, it's not exactly a high note either. Yeah, that yeastiness just kind of mounts onto itself. And before long, it starts to take over the fruitiness, which is the first thing that really nails you. And also seems to definitely womp over, just blast over that honey aftertaste. But it is a pretty mead. Overall, that it was very light, fruity notes, best served cold, nice summer mead, and it has, of course, that yeast in the back that wants to mount up. I question how well the fermentation process went, in that using the same base formula, same base recipe, using other yeasts, they ended just on time. That's why I know it's only 3 months. And of course, I know some of you out there going, oh, no, you're going to have a mead, you got to give at least a year's worth. I don't think so. If you're Thursday, you'll drink it early. It's got a good nose to it. Like I said, a good summertime. But be warned of that extra yeast flavor. All right, this is mead experiment using Lalvin Morjoven RC212. Oh, real quick, the actual numbers. Of course, the starting ABV, because it's a constant that I'm using, starting ABV was 12 with a gravity of 94 and a sugar of 23. Ending ABV was 3, giving it a 9% ABV. Gravity was 20, and a sugar is 6. So the gravity would start off at 94 and drop down to 20, and the sugar was 23 and dropped down to 6. So those are some hungry yeasts. But those are the actual numbers in this case. So there you go, guys. Morjoven RC212. And until next time, keep on drinking.